A very good evening to all of you. And my sincere thanks to Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Pavan, and of course Dr. Suresh for giving us a slot on the podium today. We are not from the research or we are not from the industry. We we actually are an initiative of the principal scientific advisor to the PMO uh, as an initiative to bring industry, academia, and the startup ecosystem onto a single agnostic platform. So we are the science and technology cluster of Bangalore, one of the 6 clusters that have been initiated in the country, and we are the youngest. So first and foremost, as I said, the main purpose of forming this cluster is to, make a seamless talk between the various partners that drive the economy in the country, that drive the social relevance in the country, which is the industry, the academia, and the and the startup ecosystem, right? Since most of these 3 pillars keep working on their own, it is important to have someone who can kind of decode the languages they speak and align them to a common purpose, which actually gives a disproportionate outcome. So that's where the cluster comes. Along with, we are very excited to participate in the digital health and, of course, by extension, the digital kiosk and the digital health. We are also working with large nation building uh, initiatives such as quantum. We do climate, weather, and monsoon. We are creating a system to ensure, to at least predict the weather forecast for the country, especially in the global warming scenario. We are working with, we are doing a One Health activity for Bangalore. And of course, we do precision agriculture where we do sensors for moistures and crop pesticides on crops, etc. So there are multiple themes that we work with. And today's my presentation is about on what little we can do with Dr. Suresh to further his agenda of improving the diabetic health, and on the initiatives on diabetic food. So some of the initiatives I've already spoken about, and this is the team that we are. We are a small team. We are parented to the Indian Institute of Science. We have 2 principal investigators. One is Professor Ambrish Ghosh, and the other is Professor Taslim Arif Saeed from the C Camp. And this small team is actually doing each of these themes and trying to take them to the next level. In terms of the kind of activities we have done so far, we have participated in building the consortium along with one of the renowned professors of IISc, Professor Dasappa, to create a Hydrogen Valley consortium. And we are also working with the Quantum Tech team to create a Quantum Tech initiative for Bangalore along with the National Quantum Mission. So, in line with that, uh, we thought that the digital podiatry kiosk is something that has a lot of relevance, especially seeing the kind of numbers that Dr. Ramesh has shown, saying that it's 3% of the population suffers from diabetic foot ulcers, and only 10% have recourse to early diagnosis. So in line with that, we have kind of partnered with Professor Ramesh and Professor Pavan and Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Pavan to create a digital kiosk where the we have already seen the digital footwear, right? This is an extension of that, which is basically a point of care for early diagnosis. So the objectives of the kiosk is to have a customizable dynamic off-roading footwear, right, based on the proven tech of self-off-roading concept which we have seen. Then validating the efficacy of footwear in the Karnataka Institute of Endocrinology and Research, and the clinical testing and trials of the novel footwear at KIER, and the certification and deployment of Foot Secure as an organization. Some of the proposed outcomes that we expect is a clinically validated and certified device, and the most important is the creation of the digital twin, which Professor Suresh had kind of made a mention of. So, what does the digital podiatry kiosk have, right? So, one, it has a foot scan, right, where basically it is the where the simulation of the loading of the foot on the panel is captured. Then the neuropathic screening is done, and post that the vascular screening, and of course, uh, basis that we look at an early stage diagnosis. So that is the main purpose of having a digital kiosk. The schematic works like this. There is a basically it's an area where you have the medical assistant who kind of does the service to the patient who comes there, and then from there the you know the can I just one second. Can I increase this? Fine. Here. Yeah. So the foot clinic would have a trained medical attendant, and the uh, the uh, the the doctors who are can be put online with the kiosk, and they would be giving medical or clinical advice to the patient. And this is the simulation that we have seen and the kind of diagnosis that we have seen at the foot clinic. We can create the digital twin at a remote repository, and this data would actually help us to customize the footwear and make the interventions much more timely. The two main areas of this is the peripheral neuropathy, which affects the feet and is one of the four major complications of diabetes, and the economically disadvantaged population that benefits from this. The other one is, of course, to ensure that there's an early intervention and diagnosis, and of course, all this under a collaborative project between KIER and the there's the KER, Mimic, and uh, the ISC. So I would like to thank Professor Anand Suresh, who's leading this along with Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Pavan, and we hope to get the the kiosk much more socialized. Actually, we are talking to both governments of Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, where this idea has already been has taken tremendous interest with the state governments, and we are hoping that we should be able to put some of these clinics in the most underserved areas of these two states. Thank you very much.